year I found very tough was the year 1988. I'm giving my testimony. I had joined Shell, and I was not very junior. So it was clear I was looking for opportunity to be at the top. Then somewhere along the way, Shell decided that they wanted to reorganize themselves and follow a new type of management called decentralized management, so that instead of everybody reporting, the sales, the operations, or reporting the top, they would create regional offices, and then one manager will go and look after the region. And that meant, whereas I thought I was senior, I could not go to the region, my boss approached me to say, I want you to go and become in charge of the Western region, seated in Kisumu. And I was totally opposed to it. He explained that for somebody to be in leadership and in management, it requires field experience. And you don't have field experience. You joined at the top. You joined in the head office. You have worked in the head office. You have never run an office in the region. I said, but that's not my mistake. Nobody sent me and I refused. I'm now a senior. How could you send me to management? I went to my immediate boss. He didn't agree. I went to my CEO, who was a Mzungu. And they all said that there's a matter they have discussed. For me to be able to go to the very top, it will require me to go to take the office. Then I said, why don't you bring me to Nakuru? Because I know Nakuru, I can keep coming to Nairobi. He said, no, John, you are capable of handling where you are on your own. So to Kisumu you go. So I realized I'm left with only one alternative, resign. And talking to God, I didn't hear him telling me to resign. So I knew I had to deal with my pride. The next issue was, how do I tell my wife that I have been transferred to Kisumu? And two problems. We have always preached the importance of a family staying together. Marriage is physical, not spiritual. And so the idea of one person being in Kisumu and the other one is Nairobi is simply not on in our understanding of the Bible. So how do I tell her I'm going? And she has just resigned her job to do her master's, and there were no universities in Western Kenya in the 1980s. So initially, I didn't know how to approach her. So as I was negotiating and feeling like she would be so devastated, having started her master's, that I don't know how to approach. You sleep over it. I know most of you are married, so you know what I'm talking about. Thinking how to approach the idea. So one day I said, when I realized there's nothing I can do, so I finally told her, this is what they're actually saying. Her reaction surprised me. She said, if they are telling you to go to Kisumu, and since being separated is not an option, God may not necessarily be telling me I must finish my master's. So it may mean that we have to go together. As I refuse to comment, I did not want to be associated with a decision that affects her career. So I refused to comment and allowed her to make a decision. Say, no. I do not want a wicked husband. Wicked husband might be wicked also. So it's very important to understand that we need to go together. The children are young. They need to be with their parent, with their father. So that's what we did. In February 88, we finally just before we went, I went to take over from the manager, from the manager there. And then I was there for, I don't know for how long, but I was coming back because I was speaking to main campus Christian Union trip to Kirimambogo. So I came on a Friday, I flew back on a Friday, I drove to Kirimambogo at the top. We spoke with the youth. Now they are almost all the same age, but that time I used to be the old person. And I spoke to them so that on Sunday, since I had flown to Kisumu on Sunday, I now take my car, drive to Kisumu to stay, and then arrange how the family was going to come. So on Sunday, we went to Valley Road, and in Valley Road, we went to the early service so that I can start my journey, went back home, and then drove towards Kisumu, now on my own. Fortunately for me, I had a brand new Toyota car, the company had bought for me, a brand new Toyota car. But at a place called STEM Hotel, there is a zigzag over there, and around the corner, a canter came my direction, and another vehicle came from Baruch's side. So the three of us met there, and I tried as much as I was trying. My car hit the tire of the canter. I didn't know the tires are that powerful because I have never seen the car from that day. It was a write-off. And by the time I realized where I was, my car was facing Nairobi, not Kisumu. And I realized I don't even know how to come out. Because the front was much like a piece of paper, and the whole front was on me. But I was alive. So people would look, and because they were assuming I'm dead, I tried to go, kuja nisaidie. They're just looking like they don't be associated with the dead, I think. But I was talking. I don't know why they were not coming. Fortunately, some army people came. You know, now every vehicle have. So some army man came. He came right there, realized the front door cannot work, went through the back door, touched something, and the seat went down, and he pulled me from the wreckage. And I thought, at that point, I thought I'm okay until I stood up to realize one leg could not support me. So I was put in another car and taken to hospital in Nakuru. I was very careful how I didn't want somebody else to tell my wife, so I hopped with one leg to where the telephone was. Remember, those are days of physical phone. And I rang my wife to say, by the way, I'm not in Kisumu. And he said, how is Kisumu? No, I have not arrived in Kisumu. I'm in Nakuru. Doing what? I'm actually in a hospital. I've just had a car accident. Now I can go on with the story, how they came. And they are the ones who told me how the car looked like. Because you see, the car, by that time, when I was moved out, the steering wheel touched the chair. So it's when nobody would believe that a human being had come out alive. Because now where I was, and actually the steering wheel did not hurt me. There was enough room, and when they pulled out the vehicle, it was, you could not see where I came from. Isn't that called a miracle? Now, I came back. It was brought, from there I was brought to Nairobi Hospital because they thought they would put a fracture. Then that was a fracture. Then the doctor said it was not a very big fracture. They put a plaster, and now I was grounded back in Nairobi. And it was given, I can't remember, I think 3 or 4 weeks. After 3 weeks, the plaster was removed. Anyway, I've run out of time, so I'll not go on with that story. So, but anyway, we now all moved to Kisumu. The children got school in Aga Khan Primary School, and we are settled in Kisumu. I'm doing my job. Then I needed to go to Mombasa for some exposure, because Mombasa is our biggest depot. And I flew from Kisumu to Mombasa. On the way back, I'm trying to see how to cut the long story short. On the way back, I came to Nairobi, stayed with my friend Daniel Chege, and then together with Daniel, that's Friday evening, we went to see my mother in Kinagop. With the arrangement, we will come back, and early in the morning on Sunday morning, he will take me to the airport, I'll take the Fokker Friendship, and be in time in Kisumu for the Sunday service. That's what we did. So Saturday morning, he takes me to the airport. I'm in the Fokker Friendship. And it turns out the person I sat next to in the aircraft was somebody who was in Alliance Girls. We used to call them Acrotians. And we had not seen each other since campus days. So we were very busy fellowshipping and catching up with that. She was the CU chairman of my time. When I was in Alliance Boys, she was in Alliance Girls. So we are busy. And then somewhere along as we reach Kericho, the lady is about to tell us we are going down to Kisumu. The captain interrupted and told us welcome. He had forgotten to welcome us from Nairobi. So he's interfering with the pilot with the stewardess in order to tell us a welcome. After finishing welcome, the lady came back and still told us we are landing. And of course we commented, that's funny, what's wrong with the captain? As, of course, in a few minutes, we are now on the lake. The lady had never flown into Kisumu, And the way you go into Kisumu, you actually go over the Kavirondo Gulf in order to take the same level with the airport. So when she realized that we are going into the sea, I said, don't worry, I have flown here many times because I'm trying to make her comfortable. But you know what? I did not know we were crashing. We were landing on Kisumu Airport without wheels. The pilot, the captain had forgotten not just to greet us, he also forgot to remove wheels. So and you know they use the wheels to brake, isn't it? So we did not brake, we just crashed. When I finally came out, because you can see I'm alive, I'm one of the few people who have crashed and continue to tell the story. When I came out, my children who are young then asked me, exactly, what are you saying? What happened? Did you fall like a stone? That's when I realized that's the best explanation. We just fell like a stone. And obviously, I now knew how long it is because we finally came out and walked all the way to the tower. And the idea is quite a distance. Anyway, that's a story. Again, I don't want to say that part of the story. Same year, a little later, we are members of Nyanza Sports Club, and we are busy with my wife taking a soda, and the children are playing games with this one. You know the one where you jump like a monkey from one ring to the other? You get what I'm talking about? And we are looking like that. And one of the three, we have 3 children, I will not say which one. We just saw another girl came from the wrong direction. They met in the middle, and our daughter just missed a rung. And from that, of course, for a young child, it's a very far up. She came down, and she came like she's landing with the head. Of course, we stood up and finally found her down, of course, thinking she could be dead. By the miracle of God, before she landed, the hand came before the head. So she landed down, but the hand that was hurt most. And actually, it was looking the opposite direction. So we took her quickly and rushed her to Akan Hospital. And obviously, she had to go to theater to turn the hand the other way around. And again, God had rescued her. In about 2 months, you'd ask her which hand, she couldn't remember. Of course, she cannot even, most likely, she can't remember the hand had turned another direction. After that, one Kikuyu friend in Kisumu came to see us. And he said, Nganga, I know you say you're a Christian, but to be honest, same family, a road accident. Same family, even an air crash. Now that is your daughter. Surely don't you need to see something? You know, you'd assume Kikuyus are less superstitious, isn't it? That's why when you are in Western, you assume Kikuyus are, but it was Kikuyu who was talking to me. And I told him, I'm very surprised. God rescues me from a road accident. My car is a write-off. And I'm praising him about what a miraculous God he is. God rescues me from an air crash. And I'm thinking about how miraculous it is. God rescues my daughter. And all you see is the devil. We are looking at the same events, interpreting them different. That's when I discovered the songwriter was right. Count your blessings, name them one. It will surprise you what the Lord has. But some people change it. Count your curses, naming them one by one. It will surprise you how powerful the devil is.